What is going on, guys? My name is Jose, and today we're going to be taking off the transmission to the Nova. I hope it's not as hard as I think it is, but let's get it. And I am joined by Ash today. He's going to be my little sitter while I try to attempt to take out the transmission. As you guys can see, I do have it on all 4 jack stands. It is safe, it's not going to move, but you always want to give it a good push. The only problem would be, guys, is trying to get the actual transmission down with a jack. I only have a floor jack and a couple of bricks, so I'm going to try to figure out a way to get it down safely. It is only just me, but I might call in my brother to help me out because this is a little dangerous and none of you guys should be trying this at home, but hopefully it works. Before I get started in removing the transmission, I put down a tarp to catch any oil that leaks out. The first step is to remove the exhaust. This will help give me some room to work with, and it won't be in the way of the crossmember or the transmission when I remove them. So after removing the exhaust, I then proceed to unbolt the drive shaft. There are 2 caps on each side of the drive shaft, and rotating it makes it so much easier to remove them. Alright guys, now that I got the drive shaft taken off from the differential and the transmission, the next thing to do is to take off this transmission frame. So in order to do that, I got 2 bolts right here, 2 bolts right here, and 2 bolts in the middle right underneath the transmission. And in theory, once we take them off, the transmission should fall forward back this way. I did try draining out the transmission fluid, but I cannot find the drain bolt, so my only other solution, I guess, is to tilt the transmission down this way, and hopefully most of it leaks out of the drive shaft, or where the drive shaft was. So let's get right to it. But this thing is real stuck. Alright guys, so after struggling a little bit to get these bolts loose, I was able to get them off. They were a little rusty, so I had to put in a little bit more effort than normal to get them off, but I was able to do it. I started on one side of the cross member and then went to the other side and did the same thing. After I got those bolts off, I then proceeded to go to the middle of the cross member and take out the transmission mount bolts from there. I didn't struggle as much to get those bolts off. They were actually pretty easy to get off. After I took out all the bolts from the crossmember, I then proceeded to slide it out from the subframe, which was a little hard to get it out because I had to get it at a certain angle to get it off. I then proceeded to unbolt the transmission. So there was a total of 8 bolts, and the last 2 from up top were the hardest to get to, but eventually we got them all off. And then here came the hard part. So my brother and I had to carefully move the transmission away from the engine to get it off, using only my floor jack and a 2x4 for stability. My brother worked the jack, lowering it very slowly or raising it, while I focused on the transmission, trying to wiggle it out without having it fall on my head. It's a lot harder than it looks. We struggled for a little bit because the transmission was hung on something. Turns out I just needed to remove the speed cable. It was a little messy, but after draining out the transmission fluid and lowering the transmission, we were finally able to get it down. Alright fellas, so we finally got the transmission out from underneath the car. But yeah, we just had to take out the speed cable, which is hanging right there. Wasn't too hard, just pops right out. But I have some bad news. I'm gonna need a new transmission because check this out. It's not a lot of movement, but as you can see, the input shaft is moving. And it's not supposed to be moving at all. It's supposed to stay still. I do need a new throwout bearing. This one's starting to go out. If the transmission is bad, I want to go ahead and just probably rebuild it. I don't know if I will send it out to somebody to rebuild it for me, or if I can find out what kind of parts it has inside. I'll take out the transmission housing, you know, open it up. If I'm going to be doing that, I want to at least upgrade the parts, because I do have something back there that I'll show you guys in another video for this car that will make it get a lot of power. I'm also going to be doing the same thing with that thing that I want to do with this. So if you guys can figure that out, you guys will know basically what's behind those tires. Alright guys, but that's going to be it for me today. If you guys enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, press that subscribe button if you haven't already, and share this video with your friends. Can you guys figure out what is behind those tires? Let me know down in the comment section below. And in the next video, I'm going to be replacing the clutch, the flywheel, and that pilot bearing that I was talking about. But will I be reusing the transmission or will I be rebuilding it? Stay tuned to find out. But before I let you guys go, just remember, even if your input shaft is going out and you might need to rebuild the transmission, just remember to stay calm and keep on wrenching, bro. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace!